Oh, okay. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I greet you uh, all, all my family, my friend, my fans, my influencers, wherever you may be. Thank you and welcome to live podcast with Garang Kon Lowald. This is May, as you always know. I'm here to discuss and to talk to you about another discussion, another topic along the same line of making the world a better place, which we have already started. The meaning of life. I think I share with you a little bit of the meaning of life. So today I'm just going to continue from where we have stopped. But before we proceed any further, I just would like to play a song to you, which I have made, I have created. It talks about the making the world a better place. It's a promotional song to how can we together, you and I and all of us around the world, viewers, audience, and whoever listen to this podcast, how we can make the world a better place and what does it really mean to make the world a better place. It may not have been very clear to some of you, so here we go. You could actually extract the meaning of life, the making the world a better place from this song. So let's see.
Making the world a better place is about making yourself, your family, your community, and the entire world. Making the world a better place is about family planning better. Oh, making the world a better place is about family planning better. Making the world a better place is about protecting human rights and freedom. A better place is about health and safety. Making the world a better place is about peace and security. A better place is about learning and education. Making the world a better place is mentoring and coaching. Making the world a better place is about business, entrepreneurship, and employing the world a better place is about environmental protection. The world a better place is about success and prosperity. Making the world a better place is about life and beyond. Life and beyond. Success and prosperity, making the world a better place. It's about life and beyond. Making the world a better place. It's about success and prosperity. Making the world a better place. It's about life and beyond. Making the world a better place. It's about success and prosperity. Making the world.
All right, thank you guys. I think it's very clear. Making the world a better place is about making yourself better, making your family better, making your community better, and making the entire world better. It's about family planning. It's about protecting human population. It's about health and safety, peace and security. It's about learning and education. It's about entrepreneurship and employment. It's about mentoring and coaching. It's about environmental protection. It's about success and prosperity, and it's about life and beyond. You know, it's a very comprehensive, inclusive vision, idea, philosophy, and I want you guys to join with me in making the world a better place. I believe we can. So today we're going to discuss, okay, if we are going to make the world a better place, we have to understand the meaning of life. And that's the reason I have created this. I come up with this topic. It's a book. It's being written, and it will come out in due time, in due course. But for time being, let give a brief summary of what is the meaning of life is. So last time we have said actually that's the meaning of life is a consequence of sequences of events, you know, that you are born, you know, and then you live, and then eventually you die. But in order to give life a meaning, what do people do in that period of time that is given to them between birth and death? Okay, and we have said that human lifespan in this world is 120, but it is impossible for people to live up to that time, that age, up to 100. And we have said the civilization has been around for 6,500 years. Yes, and it's still continuing. There is a world before that, but we don't have any idea. And so we have stopped at that in order to for the life to be meaningful, people have to have a vision. They have to have a plan. They have to have a purpose. They have to have a direction. You know, they have to have life goals that they are working on achieving, that will keep them busy and engaged, and also to share those life goals, life plans, and purpose with others, and write them down in order to keep reminding themselves of that actually they are going somewhere. They have to achieve something. And if the vision, the plan, the goals are large enough, that will accommodate other people, and that's the reason. So the meaning of life, it can be encapsulated in a few words that I'm going to just say to us, and then so the first is can be encapsulated. It's let me hold on. I hope I have here. So the meaning of life is it can be encapsulated in success, fulfillment, satisfaction. And when you are successful, when you are fulfilled, when you are satisfied, that's that's life is meaningful. The meaning of life also is about recognition, validation, to be recognized, to be validated. That's life can be meaningful when you are recognized, when you are validated. The meaning of life also, it's about leaving a legacy. It's about having a good reputation. So this, and also it's about so it's about success, fulfillment, satisfaction. It's about happiness. It's about validation and recognition. And it's about having a purpose, having a vision, and having a plan. And it's about good reputation and leaving a profound legacy. So how can those things can be demonstrated? Those things can be demonstrated in so many aspects, and we're going to discuss them just right now. Let's say from the moment people are born, from birth to the which is the beginning of life. So human beings are unlike animals. They are born with inborn and innate attributes and abilities, including the ability to think rationally and logically, the ability to communicate effectively, the ability to be creative, innovative, and the ability to sympathize and empathize and have compassion on other people. Human beings have the ability to perceive, conceive, and process information and data, to synthesize knowledge and ideas, and as a result, they can be educated, trained, and mentored in life, unlike animals that have limited abilities. This can be depicted in a child or an infant when they are first born into the world. They cry. The cry of a child is a demonstration of search for recognition that they are here on earth. Like I said, the meaning of life is encapsulated in what people seek and what people are looking for in life. People are looking for various things. Some people are looking for recognition. Some people are looking for fulfillment. Some people are looking for validation. Some people are looking for satisfaction in so many ways. Even as children, as young, as a firstborn. So as human being, we are different than any other creatures. According to the Bible says that we are created in the image of God. So we are the only creatures that are so unique and valuable. So when a child is born, I have never some children laugh, but most of the children, they cry, because they have come to an strange world. In my opinion, the cry of a child is a sign, an indication, a demonstration that I am here. I am a human being. I'm important. So, and I have to be recognized. So, and that's what it is. It is also an acknowledgement of their presence, that they are important, needing attention, care, and life. So that's what it is. So as young as children, they telling their parents, the people that are around them, look, I'm here. I'm important. I needed attention. I needed love. I needed care. The family, the parent will interpret these signs and needs and desires, that must be met and satisfied. So when you have a need, you have a want, you usually wanted to satisfy that needs. Once these needs and wants are met and fulfilled, that is the meaning of life, of seeking happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment to a child and a parent. So the child, when that needs, what that cry means, it may means they need milk. It means maybe they need just a hug from their parent, from their family. It may mean they, whatever they may, that needs is, when that need is met, that's meant satisfaction, fulfillment, and happiness. The child will obviously would be happy, and the parent also. They will be, eventually the parent will be happy, satisfied that they have a child, in their arms or in their presence. On the other hand, life can be meaningless if the first basic needs are not met for an infant or a child who has just arrived in the world or has just been born. Most of the time, children are born, with their parent presence, either one parent or both parent or just one parent. But in a rare circumstance where children are born, where their needs are not met, whether that child is an infant, a baby, a toddler, you name it. When the needs of a child are not met, that will become disappointed, and the life can be meaningless, because of lack of meeting that need. This answers the question of why some people live to be 100 while other people or other human beings die as an infant. So a scenario or an example where children are born where the needs are not met is in a situation where there is war, where there is natural disasters, where there is catastrophic events, and children will not be able to meet their basic needs, and obviously they will face premature death. So as I said in the last discussion, that death is inescapable event, is inevitable, that is faced by both young and old, by female and male, by rich and the poor, educated and uneducated. No matter who you are, death is something that you're going to face, whether early in your early years of your life or in the later years of your life. So the fact that children did not do anything to die prematurely or suffered as a child due to factors or reason beyond their control or their parents' control or beyond the society control, only God can answer. It is is a law that is being put in the world. However, like we said, those who are being fortunate to have made this need, life is beautiful, bright, and meaningful as the journey begins, especially to the parent, the family, the blessing and the grace of having a child or children to nurture and care for. That is satisfaction, fulfillment, and happiness. Even it is considered a success to parents and families or relatives whose dreams and aspiration is just to produce children and raise as many children that will carry their lineage and legacy, even if they have other goals and objectives in life. Okay. The other event, so this is where the meaning of life is demonstrated in the early years of human life, from birth and the beginning of life. So let's see another stage where the meaning of life is demonstrated, that is marriage and relationship. So some people, meaning of life is to establish social relationship with their potential partners, spouse, to get married, start a family, and produce children. For example, some people's goal, happiness, fulfillment is to get married and start a family and have a healthy and sustainable family relationship, which will make their life colorful and meaningful. Alternatively, for people who have not been able to get married, start a family, life looks boring, lonely, depressed, and meaningless. Yes, we are in a time, especially nowadays, marriage and relationship have become less common. There are some other things that are very important in life, and not because of any other reason. It's because of, it could be because of political, economical, social circumstances of life in a country and even in the world. So where people, have not fortunate enough to have gotten married or to have a relationship, as a result, life is boring. People are living lonely because maybe they have, maybe they're depressed and life is meaningless. This is because some people dream and wish is to plan a lavish and beautiful wedding celebration where many family members and friends and special guests can be invited to attend. This is because normally a wedding celebration is considered a significant event and a major occasion in one's life that must be carefully planned and prepared for physically, emotionally, and financially. So marriage and relationship is a life event that's the meaning of life can be achieved, can be fulfilled, because if you planned your marriage successfully and having a beautiful wedding celebration where many family, friends, and important people can attend, that brings satisfaction to the couple, bring fulfillment. You will be the happiest couple ever, because that will be a memorable occasion that people will be talking about, and that is success and that is fulfillment. So the meaning of life is being achieved. Therefore, having a successful wedding celebration can be marked as a noble achievement and accomplishment to some people, So this is because not everyone is fortunate enough to have a wedding celebration. However, for those people who have the ability, the resources, the support, can be a memorable occasion of lifetime, and life can be meaningful and exciting. You see, not everyone can have a lavish wedding. We have many marriages and family relationships that have been established, and they have produced children from those relationships without even a big, lavish wedding that can cost, thousands of dollars. You know, so it's not everyone that can have that lavish wedding celebration, but for those who have been able to achieve that, life is meaningful, life is exciting. In contrast, other people value is to get married, start a family, and have a few children because of the high cost of raising many children. So even with those marriages and big wedding celebrations, you will find some people only just wanted to have a few children, 1 or 2 or 3, because the meaning of life to them is to attain success and progress in other aspects of life where their resources and contribution are required. You see, so they have a big wedding celebration. You will expect that actually they're going to have a big family from that, but no, what they want, there's some other things that are more important than having many children. This include having a stable professional career, a viable business, academic success, or accumulating substantial wealth and finances. So some people just wanted to then focus on their career. So having less children will be, I think, a valid reason. Some people wanted to have a business, that is known around the world. Some people wanted to pursue their education or academic education. Some people wanted to just accumulate a lot of money. So having many children would really incur a lot of money. So they rather divert money to other things. So in the words of a former American president who noted that marriage relationships have declined dramatically since 1950, this is because most people were delaying marriage to pursue a college degree or university education, establish a business, or pursue a worthy career. You see, so this is a trend that has started in the mid 20th century. Let's say it's probably after the Second World War, marriages and relationships, formal marriages have declined. It's why? Because people wanted to pursue education, wanted to run a business, operate businesses. They want to focus on their career. However, many people still believe that actually marriage is the best foundation of personal intimacy, raising children, and economic stability. This is Barack Obama in the book. I think it is the Audacity of Hope. Yes, it's written by Barack Obama. Audacity of Hope is a very beautiful, inspiring, and educational book. I suggest you wanted to, if you love books, you go and buy that one. It's available, in Amazon online. So Barack Obama has written many books, and he's a very successful American president. So on the other hand, the meaning of life and value to other people is to get married, to have as many wives, and produce as many children as they can. You see, the meaning of life, so some people is to have a lavish wedding and to have a few children because they wanted to focus on their career, their academic journey, or their business, or their yeah, or other things. But some other people, the meaning of life is to have many wives as you can, is to have as many children and a life family as you can. Why? We're going to see for a moment. Yeah, this is because having several wives and children is considered a source of pride and honor. So some people, the meaning of life is to is to um, is to have honor, is to be recognized, is to be respected by your family, by your friends, by how many wives or how many children you have. It is even considered a source of wealth and riches sometimes, especially in the rural communities of Africa and Asia and some Latin America, where economic livelihood depends on agricultural and animal resources such as farming, cultivating land, or looking after cattle or fishing. You see, in rural communities in Africa, Asia, or Latin America, even in the developed world as well. I don't know if they still get married as many wives or not, because getting married to as many wives is called polygamy, which is less practiced in the Western world, but it still exists in Africa, Middle East, some part of Asia, and Latin America. People get married to as many wives, produce as many kids, because those large families, they can help in looking after the cattle, cultivating lands, or fishing, because that is economic source, that's economic livelihood. In contrast, the married couple who are experiencing infertility and inability to produce children, life can be meaningless and void. So within marriage and relationship, family relationship, there are some people who, maybe they have gotten married, but they have not been fortunate to produce kids, even though they want to have children. So because of infertility. In this case, parent family who are not fortunate or blessed with wonderful and playful children around, raised in nature, life can be dark, unproductive, meaningless, because their hopes and expectation of successful marriage and relationship is not fulfilled, even if they have attained other achievement and accomplishment. Some people, when they have gotten married and they have established a family relationship, but they do not have children, they can have a beautiful career. They could have achieved academic success as well, or they are operating a big corporation that is employing thousands of people, and generating millions and billions of revenue. They have achieved success in other aspects and accomplished in other areas of life, but yet they don't have children because of infertility. In this situation, of course, they may still be unhappy, they may still be unsatisfied, unfulfilled, because they don't have children. Life can be meaningless and restless, and disappointing. As a result, people in this situation often find meaning and value by seeking solutions to their peculiar life circumstances, medical conditions, and social problem. So, as I said before, when you have a need, you will not be able to be happy. You will not be able to be comfortable, to rest until you meet that need. So parents and couple who are experiencing infertility, they will always be looking for a solution, how they can have children, how they can have a child. So they could actually seek medical treatment through IVF, adoption, or foster care to live happy and fulfilled married and parent. We have discussed this in the family planning process series, I think. Yes. So if you didn't watch or listen to those podcasts, I suggest you go to YouTube and look for family planning process discussion. I think you will be okay. Another aspect where the meaning of life can be demonstrated, it is through family and friends. And so many people argue that the meaning of life is to help and support your family in any form or shape, as parents, guardians, children, or just relative, or relative. For instance, many people will claim that working to provide for one's family and pay for everyday life necessities is the most satisfying and rewarding aspect of life that provide a sense of value, recognition, even without possessing substantial amount of wealth and riches. So, yes, some people find meaning, in helping and supporting their family, and family of course consists of a father and a mother and children. Okay, so a parent supporting and helping their children obviously is a responsibility that cannot be escaped, or children helping their parents and guardians, when they are all unable to support themselves, or just relatives. Relative can include uncle, aunties, cousins, and grandparents and grandchildren. So all this, some people can find meaning in helping and supporting family members. Yes, it is a very important duty and responsibility toward a family. Yes. So the meaning of life to many people around the world, include myself, is to help and support other people, especially the poor and the suffering, when you have life resources and the ability to do so. So apart from family members or relatives, the meaning of life to some people, it is to support even strangers. If you are a Christian, you will understand the golden rule, which Jesus or the Bible teaches. The golden rule is do to others what you want others to do to you. So, the meaning of life can be demonstrated in philanthropy, the activities. For instance, wealthy nations, corporations, businesses, influential individuals can find meaning in assisting the poor communities in developing countries. We have a lot of non-profit organizations and foundations that are operating specifically to assist and help people who are in desperate situation, who are suffering, who are in emergency situations, like the UNICEF Save Children, World Vision, Salvation Army, Amnesty International, Red Cross, Doctors Without Borders, All these non-profit organizations and NGO, UNICEF, UN, United Nations. So these are non-NGO that are doing philanthropic work by assisting poor people and people who are suffering and in emergency situation, either is caused by the war or natural disaster or by any other crisis. So yes, it's not only NGO, but as a wealthy nation, you could actually help a poor or developing nation, because in that way, you as a nation can find meaning in helping another nation, just as an individual will help, a wealthy individual will help a poor individual. And not only wealthy nations and wealthy individual, businesses, corporation, if they would like to be recognized, if they would like to be validated and appreciated, they must engage in corporate social responsibility, which is actually a social aspect of giving back to the communities. That's what's actually the meaning of life is to a corporation and business. So yes, this includes establishing, so this can be achieved through direct financial donation or establishing vital and critical infrastructure and developmental projects. So wealthy nations, big corporations, influential individuals, celebrities, they could actually help poor and developed communities by either giving direct donation to the poor community, and then they can do whatever they wanted to do with it, or they could actually establish vital and critical infrastructure and developmental projects. This include sanitization, clean water and food supply initiatives, and manufacturing, schools and hospitals and roads. There's some countries that are struggling to build in very important infrastructure because of political instability and economic and social reasons. So this can be in the form of charitable project or investing in social enterprise initiative with modest profit while helping people socially and economically. That's what we just said. Like it can be in a form of a charity or NGO foundation project, or business investing in social enterprise initiative. These are like businesses that are run in a form of business, but they are contributing to us, or they are addressing a social problem in a country. Their aim will not be purely generating profit, but they are addressing a social or economic problem or environmental problem in a country. So non-government organization, NGO or non-profit organization can establish their branches and offices in rural communities where there is acute need for basic life necessities, including clean water, sanitization, food, clothing, and shelter. This can be achieved by collaborating between private businesses, government agencies, and the local communities to achieve this objective and attain sustainable development at local level required through service delivery. So sometimes it can be hard because of security situation in some countries. So this the collaboration can happen actually in order to achieve those goals and help poor communities. Businesses can collaborate with government agencies by contacting them. Look, we are, our sole objective, it is not to interfere in your internal affairs, but it is to help people who are suffering. So please allow us to do so. I'm sure everyone with a good intention, with a good faith of doing something and helping and supporting, no one will be able to object. So businesses can actually partner with government agencies and local communities in order to achieve those objectives and attain sustainable developmental level required. Okay, I think we're running out of time, so we'll just go quickly, and then we will, conclude. So, some people, the meaning of life can be demonstrated in academic research and education. So, the meaning of life, some people can. Meaning of life can be derived from achieving education success or academic career. So, for example, other people would contest that the meaning of life is achieving success and progress in several aspects of life, including the academic, research, and education sector. This includes producing scholarly literature and contributing to scientific breakthrough, invention and discoveries in the area of interest, and expertise in the greatest satisfaction and fulfillment in life. Yes, most of technological advancement and civilization actually came from academic research and education, because that is very important aspect of life, of modern life, let's say. So some people meaning of life, it is to produce a scholar literature. That's mean to write a book, you understand, whether it's I don't know, textbook or fiction or non-fiction book, it's poetry, you name it. There's so many different type of books that that people could write. Yes, so if you are an author, have written a book or contributed to a scholarly literature, a journal, a report, a newspaper article, that is a very interesting and exciting thing to do. So you have contributed to scientific breakthrough, like those who have invented a lot of things and discovered a lot of theories, you understand? Well, you name it, man. Like automobile, cars, planes, steam engine, electricity, the law of gravity. All these things came through scientific breakthrough and academic research. So this is really the meaning of life for those people. So that is a very important aspect where the meaning of life can be demonstrated. And if you are a person who is very excited about education and and love to study, to research, that's actually I encourage you to do that, because you are contributing to the betterment, to the improvement of civilization, to making the world a better place. Okay, for instance, school children and young people require validation and acknowledgement from their peers, friends, and mentors, including teachers and education. So education starts from as early as, primary school. So school children and young people require validation and acknowledgement from their families first, their friends, from their peers, their colleagues in school, and from their mentors, those who teach them, teachers and educators. So this includes students who diligently work hard to excel in their studies at school and university and perform extraordinarily well to attain high marks, grades, and win awards. As a result, life is meaningful and rewarding because academic success and achievement provide happiness and satisfaction, as well as a sense of importance and value and meaning in life for many people, including children, parents, teachers, and the entire school and academic community. So school children who perform very well work hard diligently by committing to their studies and perform very well, life, and to achieve high marks and grades and win award. Life is meaningful, life is exciting and fulfilling because they are validated, they are recognized by their families, members, by their teachers, and by their friends as well, and is in the entire school and academic community. Just like I said, so similar parent family who work tirelessly and diligently to provide what their children need for their schooling and education, in terms of guidance, emotional, financial, physical support and encouragement to them. Life is meaningful and fulfilling. So it is vice versa. The children, students, and those who are in academic field generally, life is meaningful when they achieve success. Also parents and people who are supporting the students and the children and the young people, in terms of emotional, financial, physical support, encouraging them, life is also meaningful, because when you have invested in something and you have gotten a higher return or something that a higher return, then you will be happy, you will be fulfilled, and that is the meaning of life for parents, for teachers, and the children, and everybody in academic community. So alternatively, failure to achieve that objective can make some people less valuable and important. As a result, life can be void and meaningless. So life can be meaningless and void if children or students perform poorly or they did not achieve their goals of attaining high marks or high grades. They can be disappointed and life can be meaningless. Same thing to the parents, to the teachers as well. They can be disappointed because they have invested, they have invested their resources, their time and effort in teaching and educating and helping and supporting the children and the student financially, emotionally, and physically. So, yeah. However, it all depends on various factors and contingent on several life circumstances, situations, socially, economically, and politically. For example, once people succeed academically, the next challenging level is to demonstrate that knowledge and apply the skill required practically and professionally at workplace. Okay, so yes, like I said, failure to achieve academic expectations or to attain high mark as a student can be disappointed, can be depressing. Same thing to the teachers, to the parents, because their expectation is to succeed and progress academically and in education. All right, guys, I think we have come to the end of this session. We'll call it part 2 of the meaning of life. It is a long topic, so I will not be able to finish it just in some a few sessions. So this is part 2 of the meaning of life, as a series of making the world a better place. I hope you guys have enjoyed the discussion, the interactions. I know I can be boring sometimes, but trust me, I think what I talk about really no one talks about, and of course we are all created in a very unique way, very different. So thank you to you, all of you who are going to watch this, wherever you may be around the world, across social media platform and network, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Please give me a very constructive, honest feedback so we can improve together. And don't forget to share, to likes and comment as well, so we together can make the world a better place. Thank you very much, guys. God bless you.